Did you end up finding your luggage that got lost on the way over here?
Yes, it got here 3 days after. So, but it's good. It's good. I always get dirty, so I always have some extra stuff in my carry-on. So,
Sure.
But yeah, Mikey Brown wasn't that lucky, so he had to buy everything. So yeah.
Did they find his stuff too?
Yeah, of course. Six pieces were missing, but we got everything. So lucky us. And the funny thing is that our flight got cancelled, the first one. Then we lost our luggage. They lost our luggage, but we're here, so it's good. It's good.
Oh. Weili over here. First of all, welcome to Singapore. How's camp been? What are your thoughts leading into this rematch with Joanna? Was this the fight you had expected after your last loss to Rose? Were you expecting to rematch Joanna so quickly? And just how's fight camp been?
整个备战非常非常的顺利。我跟Joanna二番战，我觉得肯定会是一场非常非常精彩的比赛，因为这个关系到下一场的挑战权，所以我觉得我们俩都会拼尽全力去打出漂亮的比赛给观众看。
Yeah, definitely. The camp went very smooth, so everything is fine. Everything was on track right now, and also my second fight with Joanna will be very exciting. And this fight will definitely involve in the who will be the number 1 contender. So I'm very excited about it.
Well, kind of going off of that, how has preparation for this fight camp been? I think this is only your 4th 3-round fight in the UFC. So have you enjoyed preparing for a 3-round fight as opposed to a 5-round fight?
It is. There was not a big difference, and same like people were saying that I should get an easy fight. What does it mean to get an easy fight? Fight is a fight. It's a cherry on the top of the birthday cake, and the preparation is hard. The hard work is done so many weeks before, and very often people don't get it. And I've been training not only like 8-12 weeks like the camps usually look like. I've been training for this fight like 4 or 5 months at American Top Team only, And in October last year, I decided to be back. So I started training more and more in Poland because I took a longer break. I had some things to do, to be done, to take care of in Poland. And I couldn't go back to the States, so in the middle of January, I was back to American Top Team and put in hell of a performance, I'm in the best shape ever. Until the end of March, I didn't know I was going to fight, but I was training like I was going to fight 13 times a week, every week. So you can imagine how much of effort, sacrificing, tears, blood, sweat, up and downs I put into this camp, and I feel in the best shape ever. But as you know, it's all about this one night in Singapore, about this one morning, this one fight. So I'm really looking forward, and I really believe that I will feel great and rock and roll. I'm ready for anything and everything. So, but yeah, I'm in the best shape ever, and I know Weili Zhang is as well.
I was going to ask you if you had heard Dana White give an interview today, and he said that the winner of this will fight for the title next, whether it's you or Joanna. So I'm curious, did you hear that? Does that add any extra pressure to this fight?
知道这个消息以后，非常开心，感觉自己离腰带又更近了一步。
Yeah, I know the news this morning when I'm doing the interview with Morgan, and yeah, I'm very excited. Definitely, it's a great news. I'm very excited.
It seems like since your last fight and you took that time off, various interviews, you would say, like, I hope to run that back with her, or if someone else has the title, I'd like to fight them. When she did lose to Rose in Madison Square Garden, did you just assume that she was most likely next for you and you just got into camp preparing for her specifically, or did you actually wait for a name to start preparing for someone?
Big fights only, and big fights only, and she's one of the best. She made it to the league. She was the champ. Me neither. So we made it, And she's the best. Even after her 2 losses, she proved that she's one of the best, one of the toughest in this division. So I know there's lots of talk about another girls who should get the title shot, but there are girls, and we show up. Me, Weili, Rose, and we put on hell of a fights every time, And this is what this business is about, It's not about boring fights. It's not about just fights. It's all about being the best every single time you step there. That's the thing. So I signed a new contract. I'm happy with, but I'm happy to get the fight of the year again, you know, this year, 2 years later.
And what type of approach to the fight do you expect from Joanna? This is only her 4th 3-round fight. She's taking 27 months off. So what are you expecting from her in this rematch?
我觉得肯定会更积极，因为3回合比赛时间过得非常快，没有时间等你热身，等你慢热，所以我觉得这一场比赛肯定是一个节奏非常快的比赛。
I think Joanna definitely will pick up the pace because it is a 3-round fight rather than a 5-round. And I think she will pick up the pace rather than what she used to do, and she definitely will become more fearless.
And she had said in her last fight she had a game plan, but when she was fighting you, she wanted to become a fighter, and she just kept kind of going forward, looking for that back and forth war. And now she expects like a surgical performance in there where she can be technical and take you apart. So are you going to change your approach from last fight now, entering this rematch?
我觉得我也很期待周日的比赛，因为我觉得打什么，或者是出现什么样的结果，或者是怎么样，还是需要在八角笼里用实力说话。
Yeah, no matter how the fight goes, actually, no matter what kind of strategy or what kind of techniques she will use, the stronger will be the winner of the fight on Sunday morning.
I don't know if you heard, but Dana White did an interview today, and he said the winner of this will fight for the title next. And I think you obviously said that if you win, you want to fight for the title.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I knew that. I knew about that from my last fight, you know, because, yeah, actually I knew that. So I would not sign agreement for this fight if I didn't know that I was going to be the next after winning on Sunday. So, yeah. I knew that, and I'm not surprised. It's good, man. I feel like we both deserve. It's surprising what happened in the fight between Rose and Carla, but what? It is what it is, you know? It is what it is.
Joanna, how big a difference do you think having this fight at 3 rounds will be from 5 rounds?
Oh, definitely. You know, sometimes the first round is like we read each other, but here's no time to do this, you know. So from the first seconds, I will have to put in work, and we will have to play my game. I will. From the first seconds of the fight, I will have to do my best, you know. That's the thing. That's the thing.
And one more question. So when the fights are happening in the Asian area, you're undefeated. So in happening in Singapore, in the UFC 275, it's the biggest event in Asian area history. So how confident do you win this fight?
来到新加坡比赛，我觉得就相当于自己的主场一样，因为每次我在主场比赛的时候都是第一回合终结的，对。
So fighting in Singapore just like fighting in my home country. So every time I fight in my home country, I got the first round finish.
Was there any conversation with the UFC about making this 5 rounds, or not really?
No, I know the fans want it, and there was an idea, but we ended up fighting 3 rounds. It's also because of the 2 title fights, you know, on this card, and yeah. That's okay.
When you think about legacy and you say about putting on the best fights, obviously your first fight was one of the best of all time. So do you think like, okay, I win this one on Saturday or Sunday morning, and then in the future we'll do a trilogy fight and it will be the biggest thing in women's MMA history?
Let's see after Sunday, you know. But when I think of legacy, like yesterday or the day before, because I've done so much media, so many interviews, and after Rose lost to Carla, the media went crazy, you know. So I've done really like maybe 40 interviews, 50 interviews with this fight week since last Carla's fight and Rose's fight. But I realized yesterday that next year I will hit 2nd decade from the time I started doing martial arts, and I'm turning 35 this year, you know. I'm old, but I'm like dude, it's more than half of my life, you know. So when people questioning my break, last 2 years break, I'm like, dude, I've been like, I'm a hard worker, you know. I'm a hustler, and sports-wise, business-wise, I'm a hustler, and I needed that for myself. But legacy, winning over Weili Zhang, one of the greatest, going for the belt, and start defending my belt, the new belt, you know, once again.
A question. So last 2 years you're preparing for fights with Arizona, with Henry Cejudo, who's a former champion. Would you use some wrestling skills in this fight? Would you prefer some wrestling?
肯定会啊，因为 MMA 它本来就是一个非常全面的运动，而且我跟亨瑞学了很多摔跤的技术，如果不用的话，肯定很可惜。
Definitely, I will use some wrestling in this match. I learned a lot from Henry, and if I don't use it, that will be a waste.
How do you see the results of the fight? Is it 3 rounds or less?
我不想用那么长的时间，我也不想打满。
I don't think it will be 3 rounds, and I don't want to fight for 15 minutes.
How do you see the results of the fight? You know, the last time you fight versus Zhang Weili is the 5-round craziest fight, woman fight history in the world, seen the fight. And this time, would you give the decision to the referee's hand?
Of course, I don't want to leave it in the judge's hands, but sometimes, you know, you not always get what you wish for, you know. I wish for knockout, I wish for submission, but it's not that easy, you know, especially at this level where I'm at, you know, and Weili Zhang. So it's going to be the toughest fight in my fighting career, but I'm ready, you know. I'm ready.